Okay, so
Okay.
how did you originally discover War Dragons and what drew you to it?
I was already playing another game that had dragons in it, but it was more like a Pokemon kind of game. And there was an ad for War Dragons, and I was like, okay, cool. I'm gonna download it. And so I did.
Is she better? Is she louder? I'm sorry, we're still figuring out how loud you are.
Oh no.
Yeah, she's good. Okay. Whew! Yay! Okay, so you were playing a Pokemon style of game, you were saying, ish.
Yes.
So what looked intriguing about War Dragons that you're like, yes, I'm
I
gonna go
just
for it?
I mean, I like dragons in general, so that kind of drew me to it. I think at one point I had like a whole page of games on my phone of just like dragon games that I found.
Oh, nice.
Um and it just happened to be one of them.
Okay, okay. And then what year did you start?
Oh Lord. So I started in 2015. I believe it was before PG on the game.
Oh, wow.
And it was a little bit different back then. But yeah, I've been here quite a while.
Yeah, do you want to talk to us about some of the differences? And like, do you feel like when PG took over the game, like big changes happened? And like, what are some of those changes over the years?
So when I downloaded it in 2015, I didn't really play it as heavily as I do today. So I don't really remember a lot of the differences. Obviously, there was no Atlas. That wasn't a thing. The tiers only went to like gold tier or green tier even maybe.
Wow.
They didn't go as far as they do today. And some of the dragons actually looked different, like they were redesigned. Like Draco, I believe, looked different. And some of the red tier dragons. And then there wasn't really much to do as far as like events and stuff like that. I don't even think I was in a team really whenever I first played it. It was just more like a pass the time kind of game. I got to like level 20 or 30 and then I didn't really level up after that. It kind of got boring. And then I re-downloaded or like started playing it again in like 2017, actually diving into it and playing it hardcore. And PG had owned it at that time. And so there was a lot more to do as far as like seasons. There was more incentives to move up in leagues and stuff like that.
Nice. Yeah, I mean, it makes sense that in order to like participate in events and stuff, you have to be on a team. So it does make sense if there was no events that you didn't really have a reason to join a team.
Right. It was mainly just like for wars and stuff, which I don't even know if people knew how to do those correctly.
Right.
We were all just winging it. Everyone's base was built out. Everyone had ballistas everywhere. It was a wild time.
Oh, wars. On that, do you think the way wars are now, because they're different than they used to be, do you like the way
Right.
do you like the way it's set up right now?
It's like a hit or a miss for me because I don't really like the war buff system. I don't think that should be a thing because there's already such a buff between like mythic gear and runes and then like your seasonal base boosts. So adding another 20% on top of that and the element class change. So like if your best dragon is Quasar and the weekly debuff is fire, you're kind of screwed because you already have to go against a base that's buffed and you're down a dragon basically. So I don't really like that aspect of it and I don't like that you're limited to the amount of tries you can have because I remember personally being in like a platinum 4 team when it was actually like harder in platinum 4 and dad was there, and another friend of ours, Rican, and I spent I don't know how many hours running through this one guy's base over and over and over to try and get that win. And we ended up winning that war by like 10 flames.
Whoa.
So if we wouldn't have been able to continuously hit that guy, we would not have won that war. So I guess that's the biggest change for me. And you can't really have lower level teammates in higher leagues. So
Yeah.
I feel like it nerfs the playability of smaller people to get on good teams and grow.
Yeah.
Because if you are a team that wars and wants to war, you can't back your teammate as much. Like they have to be able to get that 70% themselves.
Right.
So
or your team pretty
I don't
much
really
will
like
lose.
it, but I do agree with the fact that it's easier on like officers and like really active people as far as defending. Like you don't have to stay up all night defending because I remember that as well. Um, so I don't know. I don't really like a lot of the aspects of it, but I like that it isn't so heavy on defense.
Dad says, get good, use how.
Of course he does.
So, what types of dragons do you like to fly?
I'm not really like a classist when it comes to war dragons. I kind of just fly what I like. There's some warriors that I don't like and some that I do. And same with every class really. Um I guess a good example would be invokers. I didn't really like Namaka. I don't like Ikaros, but I loved Morak and Naja. And then with hunters, everyone loves Calivor, but me and him are just not friends. But I loved Hauazen. I loved Ronan. Um, they're just it's for me it's just a dragon by dragon basis and not really a class basis. I'm not like a hunter elitist. I like them, but I don't like all of them.
Right, right. With that, how would you say how does somebody get better at flying certain dragon types? Say somebody is totally intimidated by hunters or invokers, and every time they've tried one, it's just not a good situation. What would you say for those people to get better?
I know for sure the grind and a lot of the other YouTube creators have made videos that are like, the top tips for this or that or the other. I personally made one for sorcerers. Um, but there are videos like that out there that help get you down with the basics. And then aside from that, honestly, just practicing, you're gonna fail a million times. I can remember in my first team, we had 2 level 70s, which were pretty big back then, and I was, like, a level 40, and I had Ember, and the XP base at that time was, like, free XP 360 or something, and I followed them for their XP runs, and I ran that base so many times that my orange tier Ember could get it to, like, 74%, which was pretty unheard of back then, um, but it was just because I ran that base so many times that that really got me to actually enjoy hunters because that was the only dragon I had that could help or that could do something like that. Um, and even when I get a new dragon, I can remember for Gunner, when I first got Gunner, I don't know how many runs I did trying to get his sequence down, but because it was different than the hunters that I had been flying as far as like the freeze the whole island. Um, but really just practicing and running until you don't want to pick up your phone anymore.
That's some great advice. What are some of your fondest, most favorite, memorable moments in War Dragons? Moments that have really stood out to you. And if you have a few, that's great.
I guess one would be that I met Dad on War Dragons, and we've been dating and together for 3 years now. So that was really cool.
That is awesome.
And I know. And then, I guess another thing would be just running my own team and having that support of people that I still talk to. Some of my very best friends I met through having my own team, and we still Xbox together. A lot of them don't play War Dragons anymore, but we're still a very tight-knit group of friends, and that was probably one of the biggest things. And when my team, which it was harder back then, but we finally got to Platinum 1, and we had pushed so hard to do it, and we had, like, a really good settle on castles and stuff. That was a really big accomplishment, I guess, and it was like a feel-good moment, like, we finally got where we wanted to be.
That's awesome. So when you're not playing War Dragons, what do you like to do with your free time?
Oof. I like playing Xbox with my friends. I have a very large dog, and I sing and play guitar, and I like to write songs and stuff. Which hopefully today I'll be posting my forums contest song.
Yay!
Maybe. Maybe. I'm still working on it, but hopefully. But yeah, that's just a few things I like to do. I'm not like Prime. I can't like run a marathon or show my ankles, but
Well, you have a very beautiful voice, and we all look forward to your new forums contest song.
I'm excited.
I'm excited because I don't even know what it's going to be about. If you could only fly one dragon for the rest of your war dragon's life, what dragon would it be?
Oh, I feel like I have to say Sepula because I
Ha!
mean, I wrote and sang like a whole memorial song for her. So I feel like if I don't choose Sepula, people are gonna throw me in a fire. If it's not Sepula, I would probably say Ronan because I just loved Ronan when I had him. Um, but definitely one of those two.
Awesome. Very different dragons. Very awesome.
Very, very different.
So, what are some things that you wished you knew when you first started playing the game?
Oh Lord. Breeding path, that would have been nice. I didn't get on one until like gold tier,
Same.
so I wasted a lot of breeding tokens then. Um, I wish I knew more about base building back then because my first team and really most of the game didn't really know much about base building, so everyone's base was built out and it took me a lot to get it to where it is and a lot of merging, so that kind of hurt my overall growth. And how seasons worked and how to save because I never did that before. So my first few seasons, I got like every dragon to the gold stone or the platinum stone, and then I didn't have a dragon the next season.
That was my first season too.
Um,
That should be
there
like
wasn't a
made
lot of
clear.
resources, right? And there just wasn't a lot of resources when I started, as far as like YouTube videos and like content as and guides and stuff. So I really just did not know what I was doing.
Aw, now there's so much content, that you and other content creators have made for everybody, which is really great. So
Oh yeah.
hopefully less people are in that awkward noob phase for so long.
Yeah, I hope so.
With talking about base building, I have your base pulled up. And can you talk to us a little bit about your thinking on your base setup?
So I actually just moved my fire flak and my pylon around, and my goal this season is to replace that fire flak with a cosmic orrery because it is absolutely broken, and I want to make people cry as well because I cry when I see them.
Yes.
Um, so that's my goal there, and I'll probably put the fire flak on to Island 6 just because it's max, and why not?
Yeah.
Um, Other than that, people always like rip on me and say like you don't have a blue mage, but I don't really get hit by dragons that it hurts me to not have a blue mage. And then everyone always says like they can freeze my back island with a red, like because I don't have a red mage. And yeah, you can, but that's only happened to me once in the hundreds of times that I've been hit that someone actually did that. So I don't know. It works well for me. I like it. I'll probably change the setup over time, but right now it's decent for me.
Yeah, I think it looks great. But I'm glad you talked about not having a blue mage because I'm sure people would ask.
Oh yes.
But yeah, if you think if it's fine for you, then it's fine for you. Everybody has their own opinions, right? Like, and everything works
Right.
differently for different people.
Definitely.
So, what has your War Dragons journey been like? I know you said you started in 2015 but didn't play hardcore, and then around 2017 you started playing pretty hardcore, and like a lot can change in that amount of time from then to now. So, just tell us a little bit about your journey.
So I downloaded the game in 2015. I was on a team, but there wasn't really much going on. So I didn't really play it as hardcore. I probably flipped through a bunch of teams. Just I would join a team and then I would go inactive and then I would join a team. And I wasn't really playing it every day. Like once or twice a week when I got bored, I would pick it up. And then in 2016, my house actually flooded, and at that point in time, I was playing music full time, and every bar and river bar that I played at was flooded. So I had a lot of free time.
Wow.
So I picked up the game, and that's when I really got more hardcore into it because I had so much time to dedicate to it. So I joined a team. They were like a gold league team. It was actually hard to get out of gold league at that point in the game, and they made me an officer. I ended up leaving and going to another team because my team just, they weren't doing wars, they weren't really progressing or helpful. There was only really like 5 people ever online at a time, and I had met some really cool people in league chat, and their team was super active and they were pushing, like actually pushing to go higher, and I wanted to be more competitive. So I left and I joined them, and that is where I met Dad. And then that team ended up disbanding, and we got into Atlas then when it was still somewhat beta, but we really didn't know what we were doing as far as Atlas. So we didn't really dive into it as much. And then we went through a few teams and ended up on a team called Forged in Flame, who was led by someone named Fury. And Fury and I became really, really close and really good friends. And she was really close to the people who led Adamant Force, which was a really big diamond team. And so when that team, Forged in Flame, went through a disband, myself and a few of my friends that I had made along the way decided that we were going to just make our own team because we were tired of joining teams that did it like were awful or just disbanded or there was like drama in it. We just wanted a really good place for people to chill, have fun, and still be competitive. But we didn't want to be like as hardcore as some other teams were. So we made Fallen Legion, and I think in like 3 to 6 months, we pushed Fallen Legion from Bronze to Platinum 2. And then from there, we wanted to get into Atlas. So we took over a dead Atlas team called Fairy Tale 999. That was spelled wrong.
I totally remember that. That's around when I
That
met
was-
you.
Yes, that was spelled wrong. So it was so not intimidating. Like, you have Fairy Tale 999 on your castle. What are you going to do?
I know.
And we got that team. I think we ran it for almost 2 years, and we finally hit Platinum 1, and then the team just, people were losing interest in the game. It was the end of a season. We were all honestly tired. A lot of my officers were quitting, and we just decided that it was best for us to disband. And so I think 8 of us went into Ice Phoenix. And then now I have ended up in Angels and Demons. So it's been a journey. It's been a bit of around the world.
If you don't mind talking about this a little, I know you've been an officer, a team leader. Can you talk about like kind of about what that's like and maybe like expectation level and how much work it is to do that kind of a position?
So being the leader of a team, people don't realize how much work it is until you actually are a leader or an officer, especially in an active team. It's very easy to do it in a Gold League team, or a non-Atlas team. There just aren't as many diplomatic things that go on. Just for reference, my team, when we took over Fairy Tale 999, it was in a very neutral small alliance, and we had like 1 or 2 castles that we were fortunate to get with the team. And then we pushed over with Adamant Force. We were kind of like a little fish stuck under their like little like the shark with the like the little fish that follow it. Like, that was us. Like, Adamant Force was the shark and we were like the little fish. And so when they joined DOA, the DOA alliance, one of their stipulations to joining, because they were a large diamond team, was that we go too. So they kind of brought us along with them to this giant alliance that we had no idea what we were really doing. We were kind of just thrown into it. But we ended up getting fairly high in the alliance ranks, and it feels like the higher we went, the more was on our shoulders and the more pressure we had to join alliance calls. And it got to the point where it was so frustrating because I felt like I was in like line chats for the alliance more than I was in the game. And I had really, really great officers. Dad, I had Jay, I had Kuj, I had PB, and they took a lot of the brunt as far as like looking at castles and watching cooldowns and stuff. But Dad and I were kind of co-leading, and it was like every day we woke up, there was something else that we had to do for the alliance, or that we had to read or join a call about. And then it really rubbed me the wrong way in the alliance when some of the bigger teams were asking for like castle donations from these small teams that they were supposed to protect. And I don't know. It just got to the point where it was so diplomatic and just not fun
Not
anymore
fun.
that
Yeah.
right, it just it takes the fun away from the game so much because on top of all of the alliance stuff, you're getting messages like, "Oh, so and so is farming me," or "Oh, so and so sent me a really rude message," or "This guy hit me 7 times in the PvP event." And I'm like, "It's a PvP event."
So it's just a
So,
lot. It is so much. People
there
that
were
have
yeah,
never done stuff like that really have no idea. So it's awesome that you've stuck it out and it sounds like you're back to having fun in the game.
yes,
Yes, that is very
I
good.
do. I enjoy my team now
That's
very
awesome.
much.
Awesome.
I tried to leave and they wouldn't let me, so I think I'm
Aw,
stuck here.
they love you.
Oh,
Aw. Yeah, leading and officers and stuff like that, it's a lot of work. And then having that breath of fresh air of not doing any of that, it's like it's so nice. So
yeah.
nice just to play the game.
And you led too
I
because
did.
that was mostly what, you and I had talked about the first
Yep.
time that we talked was like building a team from scratch basically. And so you kind of know how much
Oh yeah.
goes on behind the scenes and you're just like, can you just leave me alone? There were so many times when I would be like reading something at night and dad would be like asleep or whatever and he would just wake up and he's like, "Oh, I'm the leader now." Because I would just get so frustrated and just be like, "Look, I can't. I
You just
just
give it to him.
yeah, I'm like, I can't deal with this right now." I'm pretty sure I gave it to like Koosh at one point too. It was just like, I can't do this right now. Like, can one of you just take this over?
Yeah, line was really overwhelming for me. Shortly after I ended up disbanding my team, however long ago that was, I ended up deleting line completely. I took like a 5 or 6 month complete break from line, and I left
Yeah.
every group I was in. I was like, nope, I'm just done.
Yes. It was so nice
Ah.
whenever like we disbanded and I got to just leave all those chats. I was like, "Oh, this is so nice."
Yeah, mornings online would be like, I don't know, the first half hour of my morning was just like reading line.
Yes.
uh,
Oh,
yeah. So anyways, yeah, just
it was
playing the
nice.
game now. It's so nice.
And then all of the like the no hits and then like you get a message and they're like so and so sniped my castle and we're allies. And then I like go look and I'm like, "But we're not." And they're like, "You owe me gold." And I'm
Oh,
like,
yeah.
"But I don't." Like, what is this?
Trying to pull a fast one on you.
It's just
All right, so I mean, how? I mean, I think I know how you got so knowledgeable. You've played the game, a long time, and you care about it a lot. But how have you gotten so knowledgeable? And for people that want to learn more, what would you recommend for them to be super knowledgeable in the game?
honestly, a lot of the Atlas stuff that I learned was just from like engaging myself and wanting to learn and asking questions. I was fortunate that Fury, my leader at the time, who made me an officer in her team, um, she kind of took me under her wing and taught me a lot. And then whenever she and some of the bigger players on that team went to Adamant Force, we were still really close. And so I ended up getting close with Leo and a lot of the other players from there. And we kind of just had like this group of like diamond players. And then, like I said, like the shark and the little fish, like we were the little fish. And so anytime they needed help, we would like help them, which wasn't very often. And through helping them and like engaging with them, I learned so much about Atlas that I didn't know before and I just kind of became a sponge and just soaked all that up. And then as far as like game stuff, really just talking to other players who were more knowledgeable than me at that time and just learning and asking, "Hey, is this the right thing for my base or this or that?" and just taking that all in. And then of course I did watch some like YouTube videos and stuff just getting feedback from that as well.
Awesome, awesome. So, if you don't know the answer to something, ask for help. Soak things
Yes.
up like a sponge from more knowledgeable players and watch YouTube
Yes.
videos.
But see, here's the thing. Some people who you would think are super knowledgeable really aren't.
Yeah, there's some
Like so
misinformation out
it's
there.
right. It's kind of scary sometimes when I do talk to people that they don't like they come off like they know everything and then they don't know anything. And I'm like, how are you teaching this to your team? Like you're
Uh,
completely ruining their experience, I guess, is
with
the thing.
that,
So
how would you say people could decipher from what's good and what's bad? Say like that situation's happening to somebody, right? And like they're on a team and they're kind of new to the game and they don't know that much and their team leader is like filling them up with a bunch of nonsense. Like how do they decipher that? More YouTube?
it's really hard at that point because so for me, whenever I first started, I thought this guy who was like level 90 when I was level 50 was teaching me the right way to build a base because he was in a platinum team and I was in like a gold 3 team. Um and my base was fully built out and he didn't see a problem with that. So to me that it should have been a red flag there, but I didn't know any better. Um and it's really hard to decipher that because, as like a level 40, you're looking at your level 200 teammate and you're like, "Oh, they know what they're doing." Like
Yeah.
they're a big player, but really it's hard to differentiate and especially now with how big players have gotten, you can't really tell, I guess. Other than I would say there's a bunch of like Discord and line chats for the community and for players and stuff. I'm in one, it's called War Dragons United, and there are a lot of knowledgeable players in there. If you do have Discord, you can jump in and any question you have, there are super knowledgeable players that can answer those questions. Players that I know personally have been playing for 4 and 5 years like myself that can tell you, "Hey, that's complete like don't do that. Like don't build your base out. Don't build 7 max ballistas." Like it's hard.
I think that was pretty solid though, as far as like how to ask for help from bigger groups where there is a bigger pool of people and not just like the one big
Right.
person on your team or whatever.
I would
Crixus,
say the forums too, but there to me there's just so much negativity on the forums and like trolls
yes.
that it ends up not being helpful. And it's sad because that should be a place for people to go and ask questions like that.
Yeah, I think thankfully I think there are a lot of positive people though that at least like somewhat put the trolls in their place. Like
Right.
when you were like backing up whatever was being said and telling whoever was trolling my featured Dragon Lord's post.
Oh yes. Yes. I was like,
Real
"No, stop it."
Crixus, thank you for that resub. Hello and thank you. Okay, so what, if any, are your current goals in War Dragons? And this could even be like with your channel or in whatever you want, but in relation to the game, some goals.
Um, I guess my goal for my channel right now is I'm really close to 2K subs, so that would be like cool to have, I guess. It's kind of funny because I never thought that it would grow like it did. I started my channel to help my team. If you look at like some of my past videos, there it's like how to fly Apophet, and I was like level 400, and you'd be like, why? But my teammates at the time were flying Apophet, and they wanted to know how. So
Aw.
that's kind of how my channel started. And then it just kind of grew to what it is. As far as like game stuff, I finally am back on tier. Like I was able to get ahead and actually get onto my breeding tier and not be behind. So I feel like I'm able to take bigger bases again, and that actually makes me want to play Atlas. Because before Calivore struggles hitting up, and I was like legendary Verdant trying to hit these huge towers and these huge bases, and it just was not working. So I got really frustrated and I just wanted to stop playing Atlas because it wasn't fun anymore. I just died and I didn't really have anything to follow up with. Like I didn't have a second dragon to rely on. Um so that just took a lot of the fun out of it. But now I have Quasar and Phasma and I'm actually able to take those bases again. So I really want to like push myself for next Atlas season that's coming up soon to like get defensive mythic gear because I just keep putting it off.
Are you loving
I also
Phasma?
I do. I like Phasma a lot. I think that the like 100% multiplier is too low because if you're triple defended, and you're spamming your ammo on like one tower, it's just like, okay. It just doesn't die. So I think if it would have been like 150 or 200%, it would have been way better, but it's really nice that you don't have to like worry about rage as much with him, and he can dodge a lot. So I usually just like equip a lightning resist and I'm good to go.
Nice. And I love Quasar too. Love. Love, love.
I do. It's so nice. I mean, not if I'm triple defended, it's pretty hard then, but if I'm like single or double defended, most of the time I can get through. It's so nice. And there's just like not as much effort that you have to put into him. It's really just like time everything right and you're good.
Yes. Love. Joe asked a question a while ago that I didn't mean to not ask you. Okay. Have you ever saved all of your chests for an entire season? And Joe's been playing for about a year, just for some backstory.
So, to be like completely honest, I am not a like super free to play player. I have spent in the past and I have spent in like recently. There was a period that I did not spend, but I did spend a little bit to get Caligos and to get into Arcanum. I haven't really saved all my chests for like a whole season. I know some people who do and who are like insane at it, but I am not one of those people. Like this season, I'm going into the season with like 60 gold chests and a dream. Um, not prepared at all, but there are some people on my team that save like thousands of chests. Like I know one guy has like 10 or 15k bronze chests, and I'm just like, how?
To get my first mythic, I did. The game was making me restart. Yeah. So my very first time I got my very first mythic, I was in the 200s, and I saved over 3,000 bronze chests. I couldn't save gold, but what I wanted to show you guys is this season I saved all my gold. So right now I'm sitting at 691 gold chests. I didn't save any bronze though. Didn't save any bronze. Can you see it? Yeah, you can see it. 691. I wish I had 9 more to make it an even 700.
Yeah, I am terrible at saving. My first mythic I didn't save for. I saved a little bit, but I did spend to get Pathox. But I mean, it was Pathox, so.
Looks like we got a couple savers in the chat. Would you call yourself a whale or a dolphin or like a chubby guppy?
Can I be like a minnow?
Sure.
So I feel like compared to the people on my team, I'm a minnow, but like I guess right. If I had to like compare myself to completely free to play, at one point I was probably like a small dolphin. Like I was a baby dolphin, but now I'm like a minnow.
That's fair. All right, you guys. How about some questions? And then while we are waiting for chat to ask some questions, War Dragon's Dream, thank you for the follow. So I want to ask you if you would marry, friend, or unfriend. And I don't want to put Sepala in there because I feel like I already know you would marry Sepala. But let's say... What dragons? Let's say... I want to look at invokers. I'm in the wrong thing. Okay. Marry, friend, or unfriend. And let's say Nebulon, Marav, and Morak.
Yeah, I'm gonna marry Morak, like no questions. I would probably friend Nebulon, and I would unfriend Marav.
Ooh, that was like so easy for you. So you love Morak.
Yes. if they ever resurrect Morak, I'm going for it. No questions asked. I feel like Morak was such a good legendary dragon, and I wish they made more legendary dragons like him.
Yes.
Um, but I don't know. I would have to marry Morak. I didn't vibe with Marav as much as I thought that I could. I also got like a weird glitch with his spells sometimes where like the blue healing spell would just gray out. And
Oh,
I
that
couldn't.
happened to me once or twice too.
Yes, and you can't heal, and you're like, okay.
And I don't even know what causes it.
I figured it out, but then I don't remember at that point. I brought it up in like a PG chat, and I don't know if they ever looked at it or what.
I don't know.
To make a different account.
Floney, thank you for that resub. Thank you very much. Oh, Pepperoni. Sorry, that wasn't Floney. Pepperoni, thank you for the resub, subscribing at tier 2, and been supporting me for 21 months. Thank you, my friend.
Oh wow, that's awesome.
That is awesome. What are your thoughts on next season?
Oh,
that's a fabulous question.
I don't know. I'm not like particularly wowed by anything. I think the Mythic Hunter looks kind of cool. It's like a spammy high damage spell. But there's not really many ways to dodge things, so you're gonna have to be careful that way. I don't know how I would fly the Mythic Warrior. I'll have to see when I get it, but it's just such a strange concept for like a go forward spell that doesn't go backwards. Like you just kind of like skip towers.
Or you skip from one island to the next island.
It's just a weird spell concept to me. Like looking at the spell kit, it just to me doesn't fit. Like I don't see where I would use it. I just feel like I wouldn't use that part of the kit unless I was trying to be fast. And then as far as the legendary ice sorcerer, I was kind of put off that they did like a second one in the row because they just did Teloriak and now another ice sorcerer. But it doesn't really have many ways to damage towers. So that was confusing to me too. Like I don't really think it'll be that great defended. But the warrior, like the legendary discount warrior looks kind of cool. And I'm kind of leaning towards the fire hunter if I do get a mythic.
Awesome. I think I'm actually going to go for the warrior specifically because I need a mythic perch dragon. And right now I have Hueso on my perch, and I'm pretty sure that Saratharim would probably be a better perch dragon.
And it would look so pretty. Like out of all of them, it's the prettiest.
I agree. I totally agree. So my main perch is Earth. There's no mythic warrior coming up in lineage anywhere that I can see. And if it is, it's too far ahead of me. I don't think so.
Mine's dark.
So I'd started making a second perch, and that's dark, but it's like half gear, so not there yet.
Yeah.
So yeah, going for the warrior for a perch. Is that weird? To like
no, so many people do it. Okay. Like so many people. Like Tinbrew, one of the officers on my team, he has Quasar on his perch, and I'm like, but I love him. Why?
Aw, that's sad.
I know.
Although he is really cool looking, so I guess as a trophy.
He is. I was really sad because I had Gig on my perch at like once he wasn't usable anymore. And his wings are so beautiful, and now I have Brutus on there, and he's just not as beautiful.
What was the beautiful one?
Gig.
Oh yeah. Wings. Those wings. Like I wish Quasar's wings was like that.
I know.
Those are the prettiest wings ever. So Tinbrew asked favorite officer on A&D.
Can I no comment that?
Yeah,
I feel like
fine.
I feel like if I don't like I feel like I have to say Tinbrew since he asked, but like also I feel like if I don't say Grumpy that he's gonna kick me.
It's all of you. Dad wants to know biggest pet peeve on WD and why.
Early quits.
Early quits.
It's I think that they need to work on Atlas a lot because like for example, my base is 2 islands and then like a mage drain and then my farms. I don't really have much going for me in the like slow down someone because I have 8 max islands aspect
Right.
going for me.
Right.
So if I have to go, say I'm hitting a big team like, rank 3 or whatever, and I have to hit a 90 bill max built out base, and they only have to hit my 25 bill baby base, they're going to be faster than me, one, but a lot of those people, like, they still quit at 70% or 50% because they want to be faster and win, and they do that and they still get decent revives, and it's made it to where you really can't use siegers anymore because you'll get quit on so early that there's no point unless you have like your alliance or your team loading up taunters to protect those siegers. You just can't use them, and it's sad that you can't use a whole class of Primarchs because of the early quitting.
What do you think they could do about early quits that would be like a solve?
I mean, they released like a formula of changes that they're going to make to where you have to get to like 40%, I believe, to even start to get that glory buff. I can't remember what exactly it was, but in all honesty, a lot of the bigger teams, they don't really care if they're going to get 0% glory. They just want to be faster. Like, they're just kind of petty in a sense that like they're still going to do it, I guess. And I don't know how they would fix it. That's not my like area of expertise, I guess. It's kind of like you could do it to where whoever starts the battle first, if they win, like they end it, but then that takes away a whole like counter measure. I don't know. It's hard to say like how it should be balanced and what should happen to fix it, but I just don't think that they are fixing it in a way that's gonna make it to where siegers are actually usable again. Um, so I don't know.
Prime Musashi's here. He says anything under 70% should be 0 glory and a horrible ratio.
Yes. until I only get 40% on a base, and then I'm like, no.
Do you guys have some more questions for Taco? Please.
Ankle's that good.
Do you have anything you feel that is like important for players to know that we haven't like already discussed, or anything like that?
I don't know. I feel like we've discussed so much.
I know. Everything.
I don't know. Like if you want to know math, like ask people on A&D because they just spit out all this math, and I'm like, okay,
what
I'm gonna do what
mathing?
you say.
Mathing about like Atlas.
Everything. They math everything. I'm like, hey, should I do this or should I do this? And they're like busting out the math, and then I'm like, okay, I'm gonna do that. And the bots. Everyone thinks that we have bots. And we do.
What do you mean? Bots for what?
So people have accused us of like auto trap bots and what was it, like I don't even remember, like that we can move our Primarchs or something and like auto defend ourselves at one point. And we do. We totally do.
Dad says, "What's your favorite taco place?"
Oh, actually, there's this place in Colorado when I visited, and it's like literally outside of a bar, and it was like this, it was like a truck,
Mm-hmm.
but then it had like a setup around it. I don't even know what it was called because I was at the bar before, and they sold like $2 like these huge burritos, and then like you could get a plate of tacos for like $2, and I don't know if it was just because like we went to a concert and I was drinking that they were so good, but I don't think I've ever had a taco that good in my life.
That's awesome. Do you know what made it so good? Was it like just perfect everything? Seasoning?
It was perfect everything. It was like it had spice, but it wasn't too spicy to where it would like make your eyes water. And then they had like this, I don't know, it's like a secret sauce. It was just like an unmarked bottle. So I guess it was homemade, but it was so good. Like everything was so good. And then they had like the soft drinks with like real sugar and
Yeah.
real whatever. I don't know. It was like Spanish on the label, and I was not questioning it. I was like, I'm gonna drink it.
Yes, the real sugar. I love it. Joe is asking, what is a good recruitment strategy for a new platinum team moving to Atlas? That's a hard
um,
question, Joe.
so the best part of this is, whenever I would like draft up recruitment mails, I would always include really weird random things. Like if you join my team, I'll give you a free toaster. Or just like something that puts you outside of everyone else, like something personal. Like if I just get a random like invite, I'm not even considering it. I'm just going to delete it and move on. But if you like take the time to write out an actual recruitment mail to me that like I can tell you actually spent time on like sending me, I'm going to read that before I'm going to read like so and so invited you to Angels and Demons.
Yeah,
I guess
recruiting.
that's how
Hours of
that's how
recruiting.
I yes, that's how I would recruit. Honestly, I don't know how dad does it, but he's like a guru recruiter. Like for my team, like when we had our team, like he just recruited because I could never get anybody to join. And I would send the same message that he would, and they would just answer him. And I'm like, okay,
Oh,
cool. I know.
Jay wants to know why taco and not burrito.
My alt is burrito, so I mean
Oh,
I'm basically both.
taco's cute and fun to say too. Taco, taco.
Yes. I do like tacos a lot too. I mean, I like burritos too though. So I,
Pep
one of my other
replied,
alts is
he said, because dad eats all the burritos.
oh lord. Oh,
So,
you know what? Dad lives in Belgium and they never had like a Mexican restaurant to get a taco. And so they actually made one and he was like, I'm gonna go get one. And he was so excited. And he gets home like to eat it and he sends me a picture and I'm like, that's a burrito. It was not a taco.
they they lied.
They did. Poor
Aw.
dad.
He said you have another alt? How many alts do you have, Taco?
So many. So many. I at one point in my team, like it was just like feeder alts, so if someone rage quit or like went inactive, I could pull something in.
Yeah,
Um
that makes sense.
if you're smart, you do that because people are crazy and they do get mad about weird stuff and rage quit. So it was something that we had to use a few times, but not luckily not very often. But yeah, so I have taquito, I had quesadilla at one point. Um, I've had basically every Mexican food name as an alt at one point or another.
Yum. That makes me hungry.
Right?
Yeah. Floney, this was just a comment. Advice for a new platinum team joining Atlas. Sadly, the only option is join a mega alliance because if you don't, you will never keep or get a castle.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Sadly, that's exactly correct. Who is dad?
uh,
Oh, Raider's in the chat. Raider, how come you never play Xbox with me?
I am dad. I have fatherly warmth.
Having tacos tomorrow.
It's Taco Tuesday. You should be having tacos on Tuesday.
I heard Taco has 16 alts, so she can say she has friends. Why you gotta out
Aww.
me?
That's so mean. She
Oh.
obviously has friends. Look at all these people here. We are Taco Alt.
Oh, at one point, I don't know who it was or what happened, but someone made a or had an account named like Taco Fan 1 and they spammed like everyone in my team with messages. So, like, Grumpy and, my leader and a few other people all changed their name to have, like, something with taco in it for, like, a
Aw,
day.
that's awesome. That's fun. Raider
Uh,
said, "Wait, how come I never what? My audio cut out." I
how
don't know
come
if
you
he
never play Xbox?
Xbox, Xbox.
I'm definitely not getting paid for this.
But taco is great. Do you guys have any more questions for Taco? Questions? Questions? I don't think we missed anything.
Here.
One more. What is love?
Baby, don't hurt.
I can't always. Peeps in my house don't like it. Xbox?
Aw.
Taco, how do you manage to be a consistently excellent teammate? Tell us your secrets. Yeah, maybe talk about
Sometimes
the expectation level. Like how much you play and grind, and or expectation level at the level you're playing at.
So, I'm on Angels and Demons, and it's a Sapphire 3 team. We kind of float around. Um, Realistically, we should probably be in Diamond, because we're pretty high up in, like, the Atlas ranks. But we'd rather stay, in lower leagues for personal prizes and PvP, and so we don't have to, like, blow all of our resources trying to get 22nd in Diamond 1. Um But in all honesty, it's not really that hard to keep up with at my level just because over time you accumulate the resources that you need. And if you're in a high level team like mine, you get a lot of resources back. So we get a lot of egg tokens from like the castle bonuses that we have. And then like league prizes, we get a lot of stuff from that. And then even Sapphire 2, Sapphire 3, you do get a decent amount of egg tokens per day just for being in that league as well. So it all kind of adds up that way. um, I don't really play as much as I used to because, I took another position with my company, and so I work a lot more than I used to, and I also have an hour commute there and back.
Oof.
So I don't have as much time as I used to dedicate to the game. But, I would say I play a couple hours, on and off. I don't, like, stay on the game for 6 hours or anything, but, like, I jump in and out of the game constantly throughout the day, and I'm also like active a lot in Discord servers, like answering questions, and then on my channel, I answer a lot of questions there too. So between everything that I do, I would say that I put more time than I probably should in all of this.
It sounds like a lot.
It is. Oh Lord, I'm reading all these questions too, but I'm definitely not the best teammate at times. Like I slack a lot sometimes because I just again, I kind of explained it before, like, I was behind on breeding, and it just wasn't fun for me to have to hit that max base
How did you
and
fall
die.
behind on breeding, and then how did you get back on top?
Um, I don't even know how I mean, honestly, it's just the cost. Like, the cost of the new tiers is so astronomically expensive that it's hard to keep up. I mean, a mythic dragon is 550K tokens, and I average about 200K between events, and even, like, the legendary that I have to breed this, like, coming breeding event is, like, 320K. I don't even have that. Like,
Right.
I just don't understand how you can keep up. And like, that's with me being on a team that gets a lot of egg tokens from Atlas. I can't imagine how other people are that don't get that, like, that don't get that kind of bonus, and I don't know how people are able to keep up without spending, honestly. Um, the last year, I haven't really spent anything, other than that one breeding event where I bought a few of the, like, $20 packs with, like, straight egg tokens in it to get to Arcanum because I was tired of being behind. And luckily, I'm at a place that I'm able to do that, but I don't know how other people who can't even remotely keep up.
Maybe they just grind egg token missions from dawn until dusk.
I guess so, because that is definitely not me. I do not have the patience for that. I have people tag me in chats and they're like, "Hey, you need to build troops," because I forget.
Oh.
I'm like, "Oh, y'all want to raid? I have 12 troops."
Grumpy says, if you had to make PG do one thing, what would it be?
Um, that's a hard question. There are so many things that I wish that they would do. Um, it's kind of like you could go two ways here. Like, I would love for them to fix the economy so that people wouldn't, who don't spend a lot wouldn't get behind like that. And I also wish they would fix Atlas and the whole early quitting thing and the stagnation, because in all honesty, how many teams do you see out there actually actively raiding and trying to take a castle? Very rarely, because everyone just sits on their safe castles and does nothing. And that's what they tried to fix with the shuffle, and they did it wrong to some extent. There were a lot of things that went wrong, but there were also a lot of things that went right as far as making people accessible that weren't before, because so many people trade out their access castles so that they can't be hit. And I think they've also done a good job with the delay limit, as far as like reducing the delay, because now you actually have a chance to set out a 3-minute delay and hit someone. Than before, you would have to set out multiple 15, 30 hour long delays just to get to someone's safe castle.
With that, when you're talking about the Atlas map shuffle, some things, if they do try that again in a different way, things that I would want different with that. Before War Dragons, I played a game that was a lot like Atlas. Like, it was pretty much just Atlas, but a little bit different. And we had the ability to continually, like, with more and more and more resources, to upgrade our hospitals, to be able to hold more troops for healing. We could also upgrade being able to make more troops at a time. I think if they want us attacking more in Atlas more regularly, all the time, we need to be able to have a bigger hospital to hold more troops, and or be able to make more troops faster. So that would be my requests for something like that. And that would certainly make me more active in Atlas with those abilities of being able to just, like I said, hold more troops in my hospital and to be able to either revive or build more troops faster.
Yeah, definitely. I think that and even when I look at like the Atlas packs that you can buy, it's so like horribly balanced as far as like the shards you can get or the bullhorns that you get for troops. Like, it blows my mind that like $100 Atlas pack only gets you like 36k troops or something like that.
That's like nothing.
Like, if you fully like, right, I could blow that through that in like one raid. Um Last night, some of my teammates and I, we went sniping, and I found myself constantly having to run into a gold run or use my diamonds to like build troops because I ran out. So I don't see how people can keep up, honestly, with the way that they like. I guess that it goes back to the economy. Like, I just wish that there was a change so that people could actually keep up and not fall as far behind. I do think that there should be some kind of advantage if you do spend. Obviously, you have like a huge max base if you do, or a better base than most people. But I don't think that you should have to spend to stay consistent and to keep up.
Oogie Boogie asks any thoughts about the new season, which she did answer a little bit ago. You might have missed. She is excited. I think you said you were excited to check out Zool and at least give that a shot.
Yeah, I'm excited for Zool. I'll probably have to make my iPad work again, because I don't think I can fly on my phone and tap that that much.
Right.
So I'll probably have to like make my iPad work again. But I am excited to try Zool and see what happens there. I think it'll be tricky defended, but I think it'll be kind of fun to learn.
Fire. Who's angels and emos? What?
Oh my
Um, what is your chest drop ratio per flight? Is there? I mean, I know there's a chest drop ratio, but I think we're aren't we all the same?
I haven't. That's a
I don't
math
know.
question. Grumpy, Tin Brew, someone who's good at math in the chat. Who is your favorite officer or leader, and who is your least favorite and why? Y'all are just trying to get me in trouble.
6-hour sessions would be unhealthy.
Yeah, I feel like 6-hour sessions are crazy, but I know people who do that, so I couldn't. Not anymore. I probably could like a long time ago, but not now. I'm
Yeah,
kind of
and yeah,
like
go
an
ahead.
old grandma in War
Aw.
Dragon. I'm just like, okay, I guess I'll do it.
It's like depending on what's going on in our lives, right? Like sometimes our lives
Right.
allow us to play more, and sometimes our lives get busy, and then we can't play quite as much as we did. And it's like ebb and flow, and the game is always there.
Exactly.
Literally 80 to 90% of my free time is War Dragons. I mean, that's awesome.
That's not me anymore. Not anymore.
Yeah,
I'm
ebb and
not
flow.
38. I'm 27.
For token missions, it's easy to only have Ember in your roster.
Yeah, but then I can't then I have to like it's just more work, you know? You like I have to go back to the thing, add my dragons back in, all for some tokens. Also, my Ember's orange tier, so I don't know if that makes a difference.
Is orange the highest? Mine's the highest, whatever that is.
Yes.
Uh,
I don't I guess that's like a thing like don't do, like don't buy Ember, but I did. I I don't know what I was thinking. At that point, like Ember was my best dragon, so I was like, "Oh, well, I'm gonna lose my best dragon." So I like bought the packs and I was like, "Well, that was kind of dumb." Now, looking back on it.
I mean, yeah, we didn't have to level Ember, but I don't know. It's kind of nice he's an orange for Temple Raid.
Right?
uh,
Especially for the ice turret one, where the
yes,
ice turrets have like ungodly amounts of HP.
exactly, exactly. Oh, here's one that I'm just coming up with. Did you like Kingdom Wars, and or are you thrilled it is retired?
I'm so
Shelved.
happy it's gone.
Me too. Me too. I'm super excited to find out
I
about our new event.
Yes, I hope it's cool. Part of me is like it's probably not, but part of me is like I really hope it is. I don't know because like Kingdom Wars got so much hype when they first released it because it was like new, and I'm like it was awful. It was so awful.
Yeah, I didn't
And
love
then
it
like
ever.
the changes they made to Kingdom Wars were pretty bad, so I don't know. I'm like fingers crossed that it's gonna be cool and fun. Um, but I don't know. I guess we'll see.
What
I
are
kind of wish they would bring back like capture the flag. That was one of my favorite events because I loved seeing like the little flags on my base.
Aw, I don't think I was around for Capture the Flag.
I loved it.
So I hope it's like whatever that is, because I have no idea what it is. But if you loved it, sounds like it should be here. What is something new that War Dragons has done that you've liked?
Honestly, people are gonna hate on me so much for this, but the XP mission things are so nice because
Yes.
I don't have to spend all day like leveling a new dragon. I just like spam the XP potions until I can't anymore, and then I'm like, oh, okay, he's leveled.
I
Especially because a lot of the dragons in the like the breedable dragons, they're just not usable. So
agree.
like you just level them up and then bench them. So I don't know.
No,
Although Phasma is really fun.
I'm totally with you on that. Do you have any other? I don't. It's probably expensive, and you probably don't. But do you have any other, or do you want any other Arcanum? I think I said that right. Dragons. Obviously, you're gonna
Not
get some
really.
more, right? You still have to
Right.
get a
So I
couple.
got Caligos. I got Caligos, and I liked Caligos. It's just kind of it's a sorcerer, so it's kind of like a glass cannon, I guess. Like, you can do a lot of damage with it, but you can't really take damage, and I found that defended, it just didn't live up to the expectations I thought that it could in my head. If you fly it, like, perfectly, you can get through, but I mess up a lot, so, um,
That one, the
I it
spell
just
kit looked good to me, so that's interesting for you
yes.
to say that.
It's kind of like, Orthopter from I can't remember what tier. It's kind of similar to that in the fact that, like, it has that Death Gaze type spell and, like, the little tiny shooter bullets, and it has that, like, shield. Um, it just is missing, like, the summon, I think, is what Orthopter had that was different. But I did like it, and it's so pretty, and then it has a spell that, like, gives you 2 rage back, so I don't know, it was really nice, and I liked it. It just couldn't perform on, like, top tier bases that I was hitting. And then I bred Phasma outside of event because
You
dad
what?
told me it was yeah, I know. Dad had, like, hyped it up and told me how good it was, and then he thought I might like it because I usually like, Entrap Dragons, and I do, like, I love Phasma. It's like, anytime I lead with Quasar, if I do happen to die, I usually clean up with Phasma because I do better with Phasma than I do Calivore.
And then, are there any others you're interested in that tier?
I have to breed Azuri, which is the Invoker. A lot of people say
Oh,
it's
it's
like
super
Namaka
pretty.
2.0. Yeah, it is. It's so pretty. But everyone says it's like Namaka 2.0. So I didn't get Namaka because I didn't like it. So I'm not like that excited for it. But I mean, I'll see what it does and then go from there. But I don't want to breed out for any of the other ones, even if I did want them, just because they are so expensive.
Yeah.
And they don't last very long. In all honesty, because once you can't use them very long before they're, like, unusable. It's not like the seasonal ones where you can bring them up a little bit with you.
Right.
So that, like, super sucks. Um,
Yeah.
because it's like a 30% jump from, like, tier to tier.
Yeah.
So it it sucks that you can't use them anymore. There are so many, like, past dragons that I wish I could still use, like Jormungandr. I adored Jormungandr, and I wish that I could still use it, but obviously it's way too far behind now.
I can't say that word, so I say Jorm. But I experted mine.
I know, I loved it.
I like that one a lot too. I don't know if I had any other questions. Oh, what I was going to say, the favorite thing for me on that same topic is autofly.
Yes, with the sorcerers, it's so
Yes.
nice.
Just farm gold while I'm doing my makeup or whatever.
Yes. A lot of people, like, on my YouTube channel, like, hate on me for it, and they're like, "If you're using auto battle, like, you're not even flying," and I'm like, "Okay, but I have a life,
Right?
and I don't wanna, like." It just makes flying sorcerer so much easier and so much more rewarding because you don't have to focus on swiping across the screen at the same time that you're trying to throw spells.
Yep.
So, like, it's just helpful. Like,
I'm
why
with
can we
you.
not use that?
So,
Like, it just makes no
watching
sense to me.
TV, autofly. Getting
Right.
ready, autofly.
It's just
Oh,
crazy to me.
it's so great. I can't believe we went so long without it, and then once we finally got it, like they can never take it away.
I know. It's crazy to me that people complain about it. I'm like, then just turn it off.
Yeah, just don't use it.
Like, they have an option to turn it off if it's that bothersome to you, but I
Honest,
like it.
honestly, like I feel like War Dragons kind of had to do that because so many other mobile games allow you to auto battle. So like you're saying, for people that have a life, like they need something like that. And someone who used to stream uh War Dragons, his name was Kickin' Back. He had a baby and he ended up leaving the game because we didn't have anything like auto battle, and he was like, how am I gonna like work, take care of a baby, and like keep up playing War Dragons? Because he's the kind of guy that isn't gonna like half play, right, and like go down in
Right.
leagues. So I think if
Right.
auto battle had been a thing at that point in time, he probably would have stayed, you know.
Yeah, I think a lot of people that, got busy in life would have definitely benefited and liked it. Because for me, if I wanna mine gold, all I have to do is send Quasar, and he can completely go through my invader and not get touched, basically, because he just has so much HP that he can just go through with breath damage. I don't even have to look at my screen.
Yeah. You could do Calivore too, because he just self heals as he hits the towers.
Yeah.
Pep and I still see Kick all the time. Well, not in person, but like we play something with him. So
See.
we have the pleasure.
Dad won one of his giveaways one time.
Aw. Yep, that's the one. We're not
It's
here
so
to talk
sad.
about that game though.
It's so sad when I see people that like I love leave the game.
I know.
Like Fury basically quit and it made me really sad. But she's happier in real life and doing amazing, so that's good. And like some of my friends that don't play anymore, they still like pop in for every now and then. And we play other games together, but it's just sad.
I know. People become like family.
I know. I once recruited Kick.
Out of Platinum 4? That's amazing.
I remember one time when we had started Fallen Legion, I was kind of friends with Odin still. And we sent him an invite to join Dad sent him an invite to join our team and he accidentally like accepted it and got pulled into the team in the middle of like his team's war.
Oh my god, so even if you go back, like your team is screwed.
He was like, "Oh, they're going to hate me." Oh, it was great. That was probably one of the funniest things that happened. There's so many like good moments that I've had on the game, but then at the same time it's like I think that there needs to be changes in a lot of things for it to like continue to gain traction because so many people I see are walking away from the game just because I agree like it's the same things over and over and there's not really like anything new or changing that is going to keep longtime players. Like it may attract newer players, but longtime players it's like I'm just doing the same things over and over.
Yeah, I think that's hard for them, right? Like they definitely. Hi Goofy, thank you for that resub. Thank you so much. I think it's hard for them, right, as developers because they do have to continually attract new players, right? And keep the game balanced and keep some things easy enough for new players to learn. But then they also have to like figure out how to keep their end game players happy and keep things interesting for them as well. And hopefully, I mean, I have no idea what's going on behind the scenes, but I would hope that they are working on Atlas. I feel like with that new map rollout that they did, they really were thinking that they were doing something fun and good for us, right? Even though that's not exactly how it went. So hopefully they're putting some more energy into that and into some other things that we will want.
Right. And I just think as a whole, as far as Atlas, there's just so many people that are more casual players than there are people who are competitive players at this point that I can see how it would be exhausting for someone who doesn't want to play at that level to like continuously have to defend their castles. But at the same time, you probably shouldn't have those castles if you aren't going to put in the work to like defend them.
Right.
I don't know. It's so like hard to say like this, that, or the other and cater to everyone. And I get that that's like super hard to do, but at the same time, it's like I feel like something has to be done because even I am at the point where it's like, do I want to keep doing the same things every 3 months for however long, or do I find like another game that pushes more like new content and stuff? So I don't know. It'll be nice to see what Crystal Caves has to bring as far as like a new PvP. But I just hope they put more effort into like changing Atlas sooner rather than later.
Right. I guess we'll see.
Hopefully.
Do you guys have any more questions for Taco? We've talked so much.
280k is for Verdant parents. So after you get to arcanums, you'll have to pay 320K for the next arcanum. Fire. I don't even look, I just click auto pre.
Will you be opening? Oh, you don't have chest save. I was gonna say, will you be opening any chests in breeding?
No, I won't. One of my officers, Tinbrew, is gonna open like a whole bunch of platinum chests and said that he would send me some footage of it, so I'll be able to post that for people to look at
Nice.
because I did post all of my draconic chest opening, which did fairly well. I didn't think that people would want to just see me open chests. But I guess they do. So, I mean, that was cool to see that video do well because it's something that I don't typically do. It was kind of like a step out of me flying dragons. So it was cool to see that do well.
I love opening chests, especially like on stream. So that doesn't surprise me that people enjoyed seeing you open chests. Because it's like, I don't know, it's like winning stuff on a game show and like you just want to like get the luckiest stuff. People have no lives.
Yeah, Tinbrew's gonna open like 1 mil rubies worth of platinum chests.
Woo! That's gonna be awesome.
Because he's a psychopath. Yeah, if anyone's a whale, it's Tinbrew. I don't know. I feel like JL is like the ultimate whale, and he's such a nice dude. Like all of the interactions I've had with him, he's always been so nice.
Yeah, I don't think I've ever talked to him. But
Yeah,
he has been nominated, so we'll see if he comes on.
Yay! That's awesome.
Yeah, like there was like someone posted a list with like multiple people on it, and that one got like 16 likes, and he's on the list. So we're gonna have to bring him on. Hopefully he'll come on. Some people don't want to.
Nice.
Some people don't want to come on.
Yeah, I would understand that though. Like some people are more like reserved and stuff.
Yeah.
Like for example, Dad, he would probably never want to do something like this because he never asked to like really be like in the community as far as like a spotlight person. He just happened to end up there because him and I are together and he gives me a lot of content and he is a phenomenal flyer, and in all honesty, I learn a lot from him as far as like sequencing on how to fly a dragon. I'm always like, "Hey, how would I fly this if I can't figure it out myself?" And sometimes I don't fly it in the right pattern and he's like, "You're an idiot." This is how you need to do it. But I could understand, like, he doesn't like to be contacted. He doesn't like to have to answer questions or anything like that. Like, he never asked for that.
Right.
And so I can understand where other people would get frustrated just trying to play and then people looking up to them and like being asked to do stuff that they like aren't comfortable or don't want to do.
Not everybody's extroverted.
Right.
I don't even think I'm that extroverted. I was a total introvert.
I'm not.
And then became an ambivert.
I'm such a hermit crab. Like, I don't like, I don't know. In real life, like, I don't like people coming up to me or like, it's kind of funny though, because I work in customer service, so I have to talk to people. But I regularly just am more introverted, I guess.
Yeah. So ambiverts are introverts who have grown to be more extroverted, but they still are introverts.
That's me then.
Yeah, for sure. Fire was asking if you would show your face. Taco hasn't been feeling well, so we don't want to put her on the spot when she's not feeling well. So no face for Taco today.
Yeah, maybe in the very far away future. But I mean, my face is in the front of every video on my channel.
Yeah.
It's just like a cartoon version. So it's kind of funny. Like so many people ask me like to see my face, and I'm like, okay, I don't know.
Like, why? You know, like I don't know. Back to what we were just talking about. Like, if people don't want to show their face, they don't want to show their face. That's totally okay.
Right. It's. I've had people like message me on Instagram, like on my Instagram, and they're like, "What's your face?" And I'm like, "What?"
None yet.
My face is my face. I don't know.
Don't want to see Taco. Want to see Remy. Aw.
Remy is asleep. He's snoring right now.
Not
everyone is.
Some is Prime and his ankles. Oh, that was pretty good.
I wish that that Prime would have shown an ankle.
Oh my gosh. You guys were so crazy with that. And he asked me as if I knew. He's like, what's with all the ankle questions? I was like, I don't know. I thought that was like your guys' inside joke.
I don't even remember how it started. It just got there.
It
I mean,
did.
we did say like when it started that we were probably gonna troll him, but it took a really weird turn.
It was funny and it was entertaining, so that's good.
Oh, there they go about the ankles.
Daddy Prime ankles. Yep. He sent me his ankles.
Did you have to pay for those, Fire? I mean, I feel like you should have had to pay.
All right, what do you think? We had a good wrap-up point.
Yeah, I think we're good. I think we answered pretty much everything.
Everything under the sun.
Yeah.
All right, you guys, thank you so much for hanging out today for this spotlight action with Taco. If you want to nominate a featured dragon lord, I have a forum post, so just type in the forums featured dragon lord and you will see the post and you can nominate somebody. Please post why you're nominating somebody, not just their name. That way I have an idea of what they've done for the community. And then if that nomination gets like hearts, likes, I take that as people seconding that nomination. So please nominate some people. That would be awesome. And again, thank you for being here. Taco, thank you for your time and sharing you with the community. Been super awesome, and I appreciate having you on.